So Attila has been out for a little over a week now, so I think it's finally time to give my initial impressions. I only have about 33 hours in the game, and, well, with a game like this, there is a lot more hours to be played. I feel like I'm only scratching the surface so far, and currently my two most successful campaigns have been with the Saxons and also the Sassanids. On the screen right now is my Sassanid Empire, and just to give you a little look at it, how big I've gotten with the campaign map is I've gone from basically North Africa all the way up here. And on the diplomacy screen you can see how big the campaign map is, and it is pretty massive. Attila also runs on Rome 2's engine and a few Total War games from before that, the Warscape engine, and, well, it basically the campaign map and battle maps will look very identical to Rome 2's, but one thing's for sure, CA did polish this a lot more than they did with the Rome 2. Now let's bring up a couple things that really caught my attention that were not in Rome 2 but are present in Attila. And first up is the family tree. The family tree really just shows your family and who they are and what positions they hold in your empire. As you can see here, this guy on the left, he is the king, King Bahram, and then I think this guy is his brother. Yeah, this is a grid, but he's dead, and the tree starts branching down for each family line, or each well, the king's line and then his brother's line. And if you look at the bottom right, these are little actions that the character can take. For example, assassinate, secure loyalty, divorce, and a few others. You're able to use these on certain characters, such as if I click secure loyalty, I can go and click on this little dude in the middle of the screen, Bahram, and since he has 5 out of 10 loyalty, I can click on that, and over the course of this turn, the king will attempt to secure loyalty from this dude, possibly increasing it to 7 out of 10 or something. This system is a bit confusing at first, but basically what I see it as is that you gain influence points for each character over time, and you can spend those points on some of these abilities, but also there's little mission pop-ups or events that happen that require you to either use influence points or lose control. So you can use your influence points for these, but just to be safe, you might want to keep some in check or in reserve, just in case if a random political event pops up. Another neat thing about the political panel is you have a list of candidates here on the left, and you can assign them to different offices. So I'll click on this top guy, and he's, let's see, put him in Master of Supplies, and what that will do is that this character gets a personal influence +1 per influence earning situation, upkeep costs -3% for all units for all forces, and a replenishment rate of +3% for a commanded force. And there's different perks and stuff for each different office, so that's a neat addition. Another neat addition is you can look at the top right here and click governors, and you can assign other grandees or candidates to be governors of provinces. And of course, another neat thing that I've noticed are these desolation of provinces, and I've noticed that it takes either between 8,000 to 15,000 gold to actually resettle one of these, and as Assassinids, I've noticed pretty much every area up here is desolate, and this is where the Huns come from, so it makes sense. But when I was playing as the Saxons, all the way, well, over here is where France would be, around turn 400, pretty much everything around me was desolate, and it gets a little too much, and it it's a lot of investment, and trying to do all that is, I don't know, it gets really tedious trying to reinvest in desolate regions. So, I don't know, it's cool and all, but it might be a little too much at the moment. Maybe they need to turn it down a little bit, but either way, it's still cool. I've also noticed that your faction's Imperium level increases a lot faster than in Rome 2, so I don't know. I like it. The higher Imperium, that means more armies, fleet, and agents, etc. But also some drawbacks, such as right now I have an intimidating Imperium, and that means I get a major diplomatic penalty with most factions. The research screen is pretty straightforward. However, I've noticed when I played the Saxons, they have virtually the exact same technology tree as all the Viking factions, and since the Vikings were basically a pre-order DLC, it seemed a bit bland to have so many things similar. And with the upcoming Longbeards pack, I'm assuming it's going to be very similar, since they're kind of just barbarian factions also, but I don't know, we'll wait and see. I was hoping for more diversity in the Saxons versus the Vikings, but I don't know, it didn't seem to really happen. Well, more on that later. The pre-order DLC is another topic. Fire arrows do look a lot better in this game too. Just give a little look-see here. When there's huge battles and fire going all around, it just looks amazing.
The enemy has been sighted.
And I'm not sure how well this will record, but
The enemy is going for our general.
playing it yourself and watching it just looks amazing. Oh yeah. Now, for a few negatives that I've seen, well, of course, the AI is not really the best. It is an improvement over some of the past Total War games, but, I mean, it's definitely not really all there. I mean,
Enemy troops have reached the walls.
for example, they just charged light melee cavalry right into my medium spear infantry. Yeah. Not really the best decision-making AI, but anyways, it's still better than Rome 2's in my opinion. I've also noticed that the game is actually pretty stable. That doesn't mean it's optimized too well, however, there's definitely optimization issues, but out of the 33 something hours or so that I've played, I've only had 2 crashes to desktops, and that was after playing the games for over 6 hours straight. Unfortunately, I've also ran into these ships sailing through land, just like they did in Rome 2. This is another bug that's it's goofy to look at, but it's also like, wow, really? This watching this, I'm just like, come on now, seriously. I mean, yeah. Anyways, I've only had this happen very few times with the ships going through land, but it's still something that's still a pretty big glitch that I found, and it's just, yeah, I'm kind of unhappy that it transferred over from Rome 2. I thought it would definitely be fixed, but oh well. I do like how the impending doom feeling, or whatever you want to call it, is displayed in this game. As the campaign progresses, the Huns will grow ever stronger and larger, and probably about midway through your campaign, you're probably already going to be fighting them, and just the impending sense of doom with the Hunnic invasion. And also, one thing I forgot to mention is that as time goes on in the campaign, the winters will last longer and be harsher, and will uh, also head more southward on the campaign map too. So you're fighting both the environment and also the invading Hunnic fords or Hunnic hordes. So I don't know. It's the impending sense of doom. You gotta get out there and get all your provinces and be pretty powerful as fast as you can. So it's a pretty neat race. I guess you could say race to get the most provinces and be as most powerful. Is it's pretty entertaining, and as you can see here, these basically almost grayish regions. These are all desolate, and the Huns are pretty much on my doorstep, and the Huns are the ones that basically are desolating everything from here all the way around here. It's just a pretty fun experience overall. So with all that being said, in summary, I think Attila is a pretty good game considering it's only 1 week after launch. I still have a ton of interest in it. As I said, I'm only 33 hours in, and I believe I have quite a lot more left. I feel like I'm only scratching the surface, and I still have yet to even play as some of the other factions. So 33 hours basically between the Saxons and the Sassanids, and maybe like an hour of Vikings in between. It really takes up my time, and I'm having a lot of fun with it.